first Star Wars review, and I've been a fan of Star Wars for a little while. I've seen all the movies, some regretfully, but others cheerfully. And Obi-Wan is one of my favorite characters, so I was excited to see the Obi-Wan show and see what they did with it. Did it disappoint? Did it meet my expectations? Is it good at all? Well, yes and no, not yes. Mid. It's mid. Alright, we'll go with mid. Yeah. Let's use Squid Boy. Octopus Boy. Octo Boy. Sorry. Take this off. Is it just me, or do I look extra dark in this video? The dark side is consuming me. Anyways, yes, this show is kinda not good, kinda good. It's a very sort of middle tier show, I think. I think this show is a perfect example of sort of using nostalgia and like callbacks to older things to sort of mask its sort of weaker points to get the super fans who are like, woo, right? But it doesn't really do that well in other regards, let's say. You'll actually notice this with a lot of properties. This is not something that just Star Wars uses. Jurassic Park recently used this in their new Bad movie, where they appeal to fans, and when fans notice those things, they're not going to notice the bad things, right? They're only going to notice, whoa, did you see that plane crash in like the ice? That's a callback to the second movie or something, right? And they don't care that it's just bad writing. Just as something I've seen with that movie as well. Something very similar, yeah. Whoa, did you see Anakin and Obi-Wan fighting in that show? That was so cool. Wow. And just completely ignore all the bad writing that preceded that moment, because it's just cool to see. And I think this movie is a lot like that. I think this movie has cool moments. Like, I think this movie sounds good on paper. Like, there are individual cool scenes, cool ideas, but when they're tied together, they don't really work. Darth Vader versus old Obi-Wan, cool idea, just not too well executed in this show. Baby Leia, sorry I'm getting sort of spoilers, most people watch reviews after the fact, but seeing child Leia, cool idea, okay execution. She can be sometimes annoying or sometimes very cute. Also the chase sequences, that's just an entirely stupid scene, which there's a lot of in this show. The Inquisitors, cool idea, and adding a new one, cool idea. Kinda iffy in execution, right? You know, these are cool ideas, but when it just makes the entire experience weak, right? And that's really what I have to say that's good about the show. They have cool ideas, but the way they reach those ideas is sort of mid below tier, right? So it's sort of like this constant struggle, like the light and dark side, but instead there's cool ideas and then boring story. Of course, the acting as well, and the soundtrack is great. That's always sort of a given for Star Wars things. Let's take Octoboy off. But let's get into some of my dislikes, okay? Some of my dislikes. I have these red cups. First of all, the writing in the show is pretty atrocious. Like, there was just really dumb at times. The Leia chase sequence of like this 9-year-old little girl can like outrun mercenaries and a Jedi. Dumb. Like, just dumb writing. Okay. What else is there? That one episode where Obi-Wan hit Leia in his like coat to sneak out of an Imperial base, straight up like Looney Tunes cartoon style. Dumb writing. The fact that stormtroopers miss every shot, even though there's like a million of them. Like, damn, they really nerfed the stormtroopers in this, where like smacking them in the helmet completely discombobulates them, right? Like, I know in the original trilogy they were like kind of made comedic relief, but I mean, yeah, they're just complete losers. Like, can't land a single shot. This also sort of translates to the characters of the show. I didn't really care about any of the new characters they introduce. They have like a ally named Tala, yeah. Didn't care about we got a guy like named Devin or something, who's like a resistance rebels leader guy. Didn't care about him either. Didn't care about the fake Jedi either. Just most of the new characters I didn't care about. What the show does right is the old characters. Obi-Wan, Darth Vader, to a lesser extent. I think they kind of make Darth Vader cool, but also kind of a loser at the same time. Like, there are things that Darth Vader does that is entirely not in his character, which we'll talk about later. So the characters are also, the new ones aren't too good as well, and more bad writing decisions, like how Darth Vader just leaves Obi-Wan, just sort of leaves him without even putting up against a fight, and then Obi-Wan just leaving Darth Vader when he could have easily just cut off his head immediately. I'm just saying, I know I'm sort of getting into a lot of spoilers, but Darth Vader leaving Reva, just leaving her so she can, go out and live instead of killing her, which would have been much more into Darth Vader's character. More bad writing. Characters just leave each other, assuming they're like dead or that they just don't want to pursue anymore, I guess. Especially the last episode, where Obi-Wan just left. Like he was sick of his job and left. Let's talk about the most controversial part of this show. The most controversial. Reva, who is the main antagonist, Inquisitor. And like most people, I don't really like her. I don't really like Reva. Not scary. But in Reva's defense, I don't find any of the Inquisitors scary at all. I view them more as party clowns. Like, even the Grand Inquisitor, the big boss, this is the guy who's really scary, right? I can't feel threatened by him. He's got a really big head. Right? He's got a very big head, and I keep getting distracted by his big head. I don't find him threatening at all. So, like, sure, Reva isn't threatening, but I don't find any of the other Inquisitors threatening either. We got, like, one guy who's super obsessed with Vader and has, like, these weird signs, I think. One, like, sister who's just there, who never speaks, right? Like, none of the Inquisitors are intimidating to me. And so what we have is basically just a bunch of weak villains fighting Obi-Wan, which is very well acted, the best part of the show. Obviously, Obi-Wan Kenobi is. Ultimately, I think this show would have been much better if they just cut out Reva and just made Darth Vader the main antagonist. He was already sort of like the main one, but just further his presence in the show, I think that would have been much better. I do think that the show is a little drawn out, which is surprising to say, seeing how it's only 6 episodes. Maybe this would have done better as like a 2-hour movie, 2 hour and 20-minute movie, sort of a longer movie, maybe, where you just have Obi-Wan trying to get Leia, and then like Darth Vader somehow gets involved, and then you just cut out all the Resistance, Rebels, Reva stuff. I think that would have been much more efficient and result in a much better sort of product at the end. But it was a show. everything surrounds it is sort of bad. The characters are bad. But there are some cool scenes with the bad characters, right? Darth Vader versus a character. I've already spoiled so much. Darth Vader versus Weaver, sorry, is a cool scene, but Weaver is a bad character, right? Or Order 66, seeing that again, but with Weaver as its center. Cool scene, but it just has a bad character in it, right? So these cool scenes sort of get infected with sort of the bad things of the show, which ultimately sort of just clashes with each other. Or like, yeah, in a vacuum where there's nothing else and there's just this character fighting Darth Vader. It's cool, but when everything surrounding it is sort of bad, it's not. And no amount of nostalgia or callbacks to the prequels or the sequels or the original will fix that. That was my review of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Overall, what would I give this show? I think a 6 out of 10. Between a 5 and a 6. A very sort of middle tier show. Very average, I think. I don't think it's the best thing Star Wars has. I also don't think it's the worst thing that Star Wars has put out either. I think if you want to watch this show and you haven't watched it yet, what I would recommend is sort of put it as a background show where you're like half watching it while you're doing something else, like folding the laundry. That way you can get like the general story beats while also somewhat being present for the cool moments. I don't think you need to be actively watching this show. Just sort of, fold laundry, and then when the cool stuff happens, sort of take a 5-minute break, watch the cool scene. When the cool scene is over, go back to half watching the show while folding laundry. There you go. That's how I recommend watching this show. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think about Obi-Wan Kenobi in the comments down below. I'm going to guess that for some reason everyone likes this show, because apparently I'm like the arbiter of lies or something, where apparently everyone else likes the thing except me. Jurassic World Dominion, everyone likes that movie apparently. All the fans like it except me, right? And so I'll probably get a bunch of comments explaining why I'm actually wrong, right? In my opinion, not fact, opinion. Okay, it's just a little Star Wars show, and there's nothing to get too riled up here. Okay, well, I hope you enjoy this video. I will see you next time. I love you. Bye bye. Hello there. Coolest scene in the show. Hello there.